We've got a little less than an hour until the museum closes. It looks like an impressive building from the outside, but I think the design is absolutely retarded. It's like a box within a box, and real annoying and confusing to get around from exhibit to exhibit. And then the exhibits themselves are not well done. So, temporary exhibit hall here is closed. I don't know what they were showing. Guess it's over now. Whatever it was. Maybe painting. Started off, I tried to go to this Beijing history exhibit, and there was a group in there with a loudspeaker, little kids. And they were like running around, crowded around everything, yelling, and then the loudspeaker of their teacher going off. There's a whole other section of the building that I haven't seen yet. But being that I'm here, I did want to kind of listen to the audio guide first and then go through this exhibit. But seeing as I just have the hour, I'll go through the exhibit on my own. Maybe I could listen to the audio guide another time. It's not that much English. The exhibit's laid out with world history on this side, which we can just skip. You don't need that to put things in reference, starting off in the Paleolithic. Map showing the distribution of the Paleolithic sites in Beijing. Peking Man. It's about what, 20,000 years ago? No, 500,000 to 10,000 years ago. Neolithic age 10,000 to 2100 BC. And then we're going to start off with the site of Shangjiai in the Bronze Age, I guess, at 2100. Yep, Xia Shang period. 21st century to mid 11th century. So if you ever look in the bronze museum galleries that they have tons of around China, you go, why is there so much bronze from the Xia Shang Western Zhou? Because it was the Bronze Age. It's the Bronze Age, so instead of pottery, there's probably some pottery, but it's mostly bronze that are the artifacts. It's probably the best transition I've seen between them. Showing, you know, moving from Neolithic stone and pottery to Bronze Age technology. Everything's made of metal. Western Zhou, 11th century to 771. Site of the capital of Yan, Western Zhou, Dongjialin. Proto-porcelain. Pottery Gui, stone hammer. Cowrie shell. For currency. Ceremonial system. Bronze ding tripod. Various offering vessels. Eastern Zhou. I hate it when people make you listen to their telephone conversation. They could just step out of the gallery. That guy's 10 feet from the door, and security guard doesn't say anything. Eastern Zhou, rich economy, opening up land, territory. You know, so the first time I come in here, I had to listen to the loudspeaker of a tour group. And the second time I come in, I hear the animated conversation of someone on their cell phone who obviously doesn't care that they're disturbing everyone. I mean, I probably disturb some people making a video, but I have to be in here recording this. I can't step out and do it. Fucking step outside. Opening up land and territorial expansion. The old money looked like knives. Some of the earliest money looked like plowshares. Good, he's fucking gone. Great Wall of China they showing. What are we looking at? Eastern Zhou. 770 to 221. Jade by discs, half moon disc. No, that's gold. Daggers. Northern Tribes Cemetery Inn of tribes in Yanqing County. Money of the Yan State there. Let's see. I'm looking at here. Is this iron? Rust like iron, huh? Red painted pottery. Nope, it's pottery. Let's see. Early development of the city. Qin, Han, Wei, Jin, Northern Dynasties. Establishment of the unified multinational Qin and Han empires. Beijing area became an important northern military town and transportation hub of the Central Empire. With the establishment of the unified multinational Qin and Han, Beijing area became an important northern military town and transportation hub of the Central Empire. Bronze mirrors, jade by discs, mortuary sculpture, the coins with the square hole in the middle, economic development map showing transportation in Beijing area in the Han Dynasty. Tianjin. LA. Stone tomb carving art. Wei Jin, Northern Dynasties, Buddhist relics of the Ji city. Wei and Jin periods. Buddhism started to spread into the areas of Ji city, Northern Wei, one of the most flourishing periods for Buddhism. And Ji city was also the most important place where Buddhists gathered. People living together. More effigies in clay. More metalwork. Hairpins, decorations, stirrups. Clay effigies. Is that marble with gold inlay? Restoration of Minjiang Temple. Importance of Yuzhou, merchant convergence. After the unification of the Sui dynasty, Yuzhou became military base of central government for its eastern expansion. As the situation in Yuzhou during the Tang was rather stable, a local economy developed, which laid the foundation for the Nanjing of the Liao dynasty. Shanghai pottery, grotto of Buddhism, sutra carved in stone, cave fresco Buddhist figures, Yunju Temple Pagoda Tang Dynasty, rubbings of inscription, many ethnic groups live together, map showing transportation route between Yuzhou and the state of Bohai in the Tang Dynasty. Bohai is the inlet here off the Yellow Sea. Let's see, stone, temple stuff, Buddhist, heads of animals, what is that? Separate governing for Khitan and Han nationalities, transportation hub and trade center in North China. Yuzhou was upgraded. Prologue of the capital city, Liao Dynasty. Yuzhou was upgraded to security to a secondary capital named Nanjing by Liao Dynasty. established by the Khitan nationality in 938. This opened the prologue of the history of the capital city of Beijing. Nanjing was a farming area controlled by Khitan nationality. It was also a ruling center of trade, center of Khitan people who assimilated the culture of the Han nationality. Spread of Buddhism. Tianming Temple Pagoda, Northern Pagoda of Yanji Temple. Merging of lifestyles of the Han and Northern nationalities. Canteens in clay. Capital city of the Emperor Jin Dynasty. We can walk into another room here. There's Beijing and Forbidden City. Looking out from a ruined wall. Are we at the city walls or what? Coffins of Jin Dynasty Emperor and Empress. Are we in a tomb? Is that the idea? Jin Dynasty established by the Jurchen nationality moved its capital to Beijing 1153. City was renamed Jiangdu. Hence Beijing became the formal capital city of succeeding Chinese dynasties. Beijing was made into the capital city. Economy Jiangdu City. Coin. Qiyin Temple, Buddhist pagodas. Change of the Jurchen lifestyle into Han lifestyle. Fine ware of pottery, gold tableware, bronze mirrors, silver and gold ingots. Sword, is that a net cap? Wire net hat. Blending, Yuan dynasty, starting Yuan, Beijing became capital, city of the unified multinational feudal state. Bronze sleeping Buddha, Xiangshan Hill, religious iconography, Biji, Dongyue Temple, it's the Taoist temple here in town. Big ones right near here. White cloud temples like the National Center for Taoism, China. Science technology, Beijing and the Yuan dynasty. A lot of compilation of books of earlier inventions and things. There's an astrolabe or a astronomical instrument. The pier of Jinshan of Jishuatan. They mentioned the Jishuatan River in the video at the Urban Planning Museum and say there was ships coming up it within view of Imperial City, is what I thought, the way they're portraying it. I don't know if it's where the lakes are today, the seas. Nanhai, Shanghai, and Beihai. Most of the waterways in Beijing are smaller and have been channeled. Let's see, red and white agate game pieces. Merging cultures, Temple of Confucius, stone list of winners, Imperial examinations, Yuan dynasty, excavation tombs of Li Luzhu and his wife. Supremacy of imperial power. Formation of the capital legacy, 1421. Ming Dynasty moved its capital to Beijing from Nanjing, right? Henceforth, Beijing was political center of China. Culture of Beijing matured and flourished day by day. Beijing economy. There's the astronomical observatory here in Beijing. Taoist Temple. Xuanwu Men Church. That's South Cathedral, I think, isn't it? South Cathedral. Where Matteo Ricci's residence was. Culture and Education. See Examination Hall. Glazed Memorial Archway. There's Matteo Ricci's famous map. I went to a museum exhibit this summer in Edinburgh, the National Museum of Scotland, and they had a interactive design of that map. You could follow trade routes and everything. It was pretty cool. It was Ming Golden Empire, I think. All the stuff from the Nanjing Museum. Some of their best stuff anyway. A few things. Chinese chess. Lots of fine art. Old ruined piece of the Great Wall. What are we looking at? Trade routes, invasions over the Great Wall, maybe. Fossilized items of warfare here. Cannon, maybe. We're looking out from the city walls. Here come the Mongols. Arrows coming down from the arrow tower to fire at the invaders. Parapets here. Yeah, we're talking about invasion. Besieged by the Mongols, yeah. They just came through gaps essentially in the wall, I think, the Mongols. Ladies' line jacket. Flourishing country. Qing Dynasty. After the Manchu nationality entered central China, it established an unprecedentedly strong and united autocratic empire, and Beijing became the political center of a multinational state. It also became the center of the emerging of national culture. Beijing was a well-known, rich, flourishing and beautiful metropolis in the early days of the Qing Dynasty. Portrait of a warrior. Chainmail, stirrups, the economy. What do we have? Silver coins. These don't look Chinese. I don't know where they're from. Silver currency from Persia. Ruby scepters. Religion. So yeah, Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism. Imperial examination system, Jingxi was the place where Shen Tianfu held local examinations in Qing Dynasty. It was also the place where the national examinations were held. They're studying Confucian texts, essentially the 5 Confucian classics. That's how well you were familiar with the classics, essentially, which were literary works and philosophical works, some political theory and that kind of stuff, but a lot of it was a priori, as evidenced by the continued feudal administration for centuries. A lot of good it did to have these educated people taking exams. The best of the best. the best moron who's willing to memorize somebody else's work that wasn't even famous in his own lifetime. Grandeur of the capital. Wu Pai Lu. Wu Pai Lu. It's a five-tier processional gate there that was at the head. They've redone this for the 2008 Olympics at the head of the Tiananmen Imperial Street. That's what it would have looked like when they had the Jiangmen still intact with its moon fortress. Too bad they tore that stuff down in like the 50s and 60s. Nanjing did a pretty good job of modernizing without tearing down too much of its city walls. Salvaging the sunken ship. What are we looking at here? British Lord Macartney tries to engage Qianlong. Is this? Ain't gonna happen. Opium Wars. Commercial area for foreign trade. This is Wampo Bay in Guangzhou, or Canton as we called it. Cantonese essentially comes from that area of China, Guangdong province in the south. A lot of Chinese were emigrating from that area in the 1800s to California and all the Chinatowns around the world. Modern reform movements after the Opium War, Western imperialist countries forcibly entered Beijing. This was followed by political events such as the 100-Day Reform Movement. Qing court abdicated power, revolution in 1911. Puyi really was only crowned because Shishi finally died and lost her stranglehold on policy and power. He didn't last long as emperor. Magistrates of the Qing dynasty negotiating peace with ministers of various countries. Shishi failed to modernize China like Japan did. Spent money on stupid stuff instead for herself at the Summer Palace kind of thing. Let's see, emergence of modern industry. This is the railway station. This is a lot of stuff. There's the British concessions. Emergence of modern education. A lot is owed to the proselytizing groups. But there are a first generation of Chinese that get educated at the master's and doctoral level overseas and come back and train the first generation of Chinese in China at these Chinese institutions. Northern warlord government period. So after the revolution they name Zhang Shan, their Sun Yat-sen as provisional president, but the warlord says, nah, I think I'll take that. Liu Zhan, these are political writers. New cultural movement, you can go to the museum here and see that. Honglu. Right near the National Art Museum. Fujian University. It's by Prince Gong's mansion. Peking Normal University, China University, Shengshan Middle School. Modern printed money. So economy of a commercial market and economy of scale now we get into. Uh-oh, what's this? Maybe we shouldn't go that direction. Maybe we should listen to this guy. The period of the Nanjing government, 1928, 1937. April 27th, Nanjing government established. June, Peking changed its name to Piping. 1933, Japan invades North China. Peeping became the frontline anti-Japanese war. 35, the 12.9 anti-Japanese movement took place in Peeping. It was at the December 9th, I guess. Gubaiku Pass. War of resistance against Japan. War of Japanese aggression. Let's see, political agitation. A lot of people get killed and rounded up during this period. May 4th movement, which was modeled after the October Revolution in Russia, the Bolshevik Revolution. Period of war and liberation. Civil War wraps up. Chiang Kai-shek gets the heck out, goes to Taiwan. PRC set up October 1949. Liberation of Peeping. What's the expression, or was it referring to Shanghai? Like capturing a tiger in a china shop. Trying to take a major city without too much destruction and death. CPC's meeting in Peiping. Consultative conference. And the rest is modern history. Grand ceremony marking the birth of the PRC. Everybody's so happy. Standing in Tiananmen Gate. Mao pronounces, that's why they have his portrait there on the gate. I understand how important a figure he was, Mao, but there's too much veneration, I think, and deification of people, and it prevents honest discussion of things that when you do that. Nobody's perfect. It means you have to like destroy someone's memory or something. You can look at it objectively. Basically, those imperial examinations were wrapped up in like people who are basically literate already because they came from a wealthy middle upper class family and above. So very few people from the peasant class could ever accelerate. Who has time, even if you could learn to read, you're gonna have time to get your hands on a book, a classic, all the 5 classics of Confucius, and study it hard enough and familiarize yourself with the examination system. It's like today's SATs and all that nonsense. All they really measure is how much money and time you're willing to prepare for the exam. I suppose if you're really smart, you'd ace the test no matter what, right? But I don't think that's the case. Everyone I know who got a really good score on the SATs did a hell of a lot of prep work and spent thousands of dollars doing that. It's not like they're just like, I'm smart, I understand this test. You know? I like to think that. But even then you're talking about like the top, 1,000% of the top 1%. So okay, great, like that system exists, so the top 0.00001% will succeed. Great system. Maybe should empower everybody equally. Then you can rant and rave all you want about being a equitable system. Which is what socialism's really all about. being fed up with inequalities. It's only 4:30 and they're already playing the music, playing everybody off stage. I wanted to go in this big thing, see what this was before I wrap it up. Looks like they closed it already. Some kind of exhibit going up that. Well, I guess that's it.